traveling abroad, traveling around Western Texas, but we're going to talk about Sebastian Rogers, still missing, 15-year-old autistic kid, Hendersonville, Tennessee. And we are going to enjoy some dinner together while we talk about this case. The stepfather and the mother of Sebastian are chicken. They're chicken. They didn't even show up to the vigil, folks. They are, hey, I didn't even want cheese in this. Hey, I just asked for it deluxe without cheese. Maybe they gave me the wrong one. Oh, well. But they're chicken, folks. They're chicken. They didn't even show up to the vigil last night while Sebastian's biological father, Seth, did. And he spoke. And we're going to share some information about the stepfather. We're going to share some information because, or I'm sorry, the father spoke and the stepfather hasn't spoke since that botched interview. One behind the scenes where they wouldn't show their face, and another where Katie Proudfoot and Christopher Proudfoot, you know, there are a lot of discrepancies in their interview that I've personally seen. I don't know if you've seen it. But the biological father is out there looking for Sebastian, while the stepfather is chicken. The mother, Katie Proudfoot, chicken. They didn't even go to their own son's vigil. What does that tell you? Priorities, people. Shows you guilt. And we will continue to call them out when JLR investigates. Chick-fil-A does it, right? Suspect. But the father speaks, the biological, and I feel the biological father's pain. He's out there searching, folks, but he gave some key information. Apparently, there was a scent going to a construction site, maybe near the home, and then it just vanished. Construction site, stepfather into the construction and the crane stuff. Something doesn't smell right. Something went to a dumpster by construction. It's something being built in the neighborhood. Where was Christopher Proudfoot's whereabouts on the 25th of February? Who's covering for who? Do we see some collusion going on, folks? I'm telling you, they're chicken. They're chicken. They're not out there looking for their own son. Their son. He's the stepfather. And guess what, folks? I'm going to share some new information. In New Mexico, where Christopher Proudfoot has ties, and he's in a bunch of controversy there with allegations filed, flinging against him for being a bad father. There has been Christopher Proudfoot's ex-wife filed an emergency motion for temporary custody of their child 5 days ago. So it would be 6 days ago. Think about that, folks. You would think if Christopher Proudfoot had nothing to hide, why would the ex file an emergency petition to get that other child that they have together out of his custody? Why? Because Christopher Proudfoot's not cooperating with the investigation with Sebastian. And his ex, we're not going to say her name, but this is a public filed record. You can go check it yourself and you can see the name if you want to see the name, but we're not going to say the name on the channel on JLR Investigates. But she files to get the child away from this guy. Rightfully so, considering Sebastian was in the home, the Proudfoot home, and he just vanishes. No, I mean, according to the biological father, it might have been a scent. But authorities, no surveillance. This boy just happens to wander off in the middle of the night barefoot and you don't find him. It doesn't smell right. And again, this whole time, and Katie Proudfoot, they're chicken. I titled this video, they're guilty, because they are. Who thinks Katie Proudfoot or Christopher Proudfoot have nothing to do with this? Who would be that naive to think they don't? Why weren't they out there searching? Why weren't they out there at their son's vigil? The biological dad went to the vigil. at the school? Why isn't the community rallying around Christopher Proudfoot or Katie Proudfoot? Community's not rallying around them. You don't see neighbors hugging them. You don't see family members, images of nothing. Nothing. Because the web of lies. People know. People closest know. And guess what? The people closest know. Because there's rumors and speculation that Christopher Proudfoot wasn't happy with Sebastian because of his disability. And felt Sebastian was a strain on the relationship between Christopher and Katie. So, is Katie that much in love with Mr. Christopher that she would do something harm to save the marriage? Possibly. We still don't know any motive. But I can almost say with 100% certainty that the two prime and probably the two only suspects in this case are Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot. Only two suspects. And I hope police don't keep wasting their time on these wild goose chases. Because when they're going out on these wild goose chases, they're endangering their own lives. They're putting their own selves at risk. They're taking away from community resources. And I don't know if these people took polygraph tests, and I don't know if they have a probable cause enough. You know, polygraph's not necessarily admissible, but it does paint a picture. Did they take polygraph tests? Did they surrender their phones voluntarily? Is there warrants that we do not know? Oh, the irony. Remember Stefan Stern? Remember he went on TV? The Disney acting. He acted on TV. Oh, we dropped her off, whatever. Oh, the irony. If it comes out, Christopher did the dirty work himself. And then he went on television in front of the camera. Be another Chris Watts. Chris Watts, Stefan Stearns. I think we're gonna get Christopher Proudfoot in that discussion. Ones that go on the camera and totally lie to the public. They know more. We just don't know which one did what. We don't know who's in this conspiracy together between them. Is one covering for the other, or does one just do not know? Or does one know and just staying quiet and protect the other, enabling the other? The thing about it is he's been married 5 times. His track record in history thinks that people are expendable. So if he really didn't have nothing to do with it, but he knows Katie had something to do with it, why would he cover for her? Unless that's the love of their lives, you know, Bonnie and Clyde. Get rid of the child. If this was a fish sandwich, I would say something is fishy with this case. But instead, we're going to go that Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot, they're chicken. They're chicken. They don't go out in the front of the public and show what they're doing. Now they're hiding. They want to hide their faces with interviews. They gave one interview. Looked guilty to me in the interview. I don't know if they looked guilty to you. They looked guilty to me in the interview. Didn't make sense. Because Christopher said, oh, there's things we can't talk about in reference to surveillance on the 25th of February. We can't talk about that. Well, you're supposed to talk about everything, regardless of the investigation or not. That's kind of what Madeline Soto's mom was saying. Oh, there's things we can't, I don't know what things we can discuss or what we can't discuss. Discuss it all. It's a missing person. It's your own child. Right? It's your own child. By all means necessary. Bam. Full throttle. You share to the world anything and everything that can help you find your precious child. And they have not done that. I didn't see a tear at all from Christopher Proudfoot. Not a tear. You see tears out of his eyes? Fake tears? Nothing. So let me share this information. Come on in. JLR Investigates. We are discussing the case. It frustrates me that TBI is working around the clock, and the parents are kind of like all behind the scenes, hush, hush, quiet. Don't even go to their son's vigil. Set up the school that he went to, the school where he was beloved by other students. Didn't even go there. Why didn't the parents go? Somebody told me in a response on Twitter when I presented that question, oh, the father was going around asking where the vigil was at. What are you kidding me? That's a small community. You're going to know where the vigil is. The organizers of school is going to try to reach out to the family and have the family come and talk. Biological dad did. Step-parent, stepdad, mother didn't. Biological father is not on the same page. Believe me. Biological Seth Rogers, feel bad for him. He wants answers. He's out there searching. He's out there speaking now. He ain't on the same page with Katie Proudfoot. He knows more, but he just probably biting his tongue, hoping for the best. But we're realists on JLR Investigates, right? We speak real on this channel. We don't have to speak politically correct when it comes to these creepy people that do horrible things to children. This is a 15-year-old child with a disability. You got to protect this kid at all cost. You got to nurture him. Got to love him. Embrace the disability that he has. And I think this might be over his disability. I don't know, but I really think that's the motive here. Like, the disability in the child was in the way of the relationship. It's horrible. And then the authorities should come out and say, is there a killer on the loose? Do we have someone on the loose that did some bad thing to a child? Because, you know, this kid just doesn't, is this a criminal investigation? Apparently the investigation. Where you got to let the public know what's up. Is there a bad actor on the street loose that the community of Hendersonville, Nashville, Tennessee have to worry about?